It's the NFL on EA Sports, where representatives from the AFC and NFC will square off. It's the Giants and the Silver and Black, and it comes your way next on Madden Football.
Well, even with all the buildings along the Las Vegas Strip and all the action here, this is one of the city's biggest attractions. Allegiant Stadium opened back in 2020.
Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence to believe that they would win the game? That's who's going to come out of this one on top.
And off we go from Las Vegas. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. They'll be led out by their 5'11" quarterback from Wisconsin by way of NC State, and that's Russell Wilson.
And similar to his nickname, Russell Wilson has a dangerous mix of skills, the ability to throw from the pocket and extend plays and throw on the run. Not to mention an absolute winner. Usually has his team in the playoffs competing for Super Bowl opportunities.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. 11 yards there on the first play from scrimmage.
Well, this defense certainly knows they're going to have their hands full trying to slow down this passing game. Here's an example on the very first play from scrimmage. I think we'll see some different looks, maybe some pressure from different places, but it didn't work there, and it's a quick first down.
Now it's Wilson. He'll get that to his tight end, Theo Johnson.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. First down for the Giants as they pick up 12.
Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
He'll get this into the hands of the wideout from LSU.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Well, only 3 plays in here, but really, Charles, a solid start for this offense, and now we'll see if they can continue their mission to end this drive in 6.
And I wonder if their play caller right now is reflecting on that last big play that they've had on this drive. Do you come back with something similar, or do you have a counter to it to kind of show it and go to something else and create another big play?
That's some strong running there as he's down just shy of the 20 on the edge of the red zone.
A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
Tracy going to get it on first down.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
2nd and 10.
Wilson. Flushed out right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Devin White defeating the offensive line and getting to the quarterback.
And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Yeah, and that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. The Raider defense strong on that one in coverage, and now it's fourth.
Coverage was awfully tight there on third down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up fourth down.
On fourth down, on is Graham Gano for the Giants field goal.
Right hash mark, a 42-yard attempt. Gano's kick is good, and the Giants are off now to a 3-0 lead. Able to move the ball on that drive. Yes, just 3 points, but 4 first downs were in there.
Yeah, and you can look at it and feel pretty good about the whole thing and think, okay, this should continue throughout this ball game. On the flip side, if you're a defender, it's almost like, whew, we only gave up 3. They moved the ball on us pretty well.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
So now it's the Raiders' turn to go on offense for the first time. And they're led out by their mobile quarterback out of West Virginia. It's Geno Smith.
I still remember back in 2013 when he was drafted out of West Virginia. He was coming off of back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons for the Mountaineers. Hadn't seen as much game time in recent years, but at one point, a capable starter in the NFL.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From the 32-yard line now, here's a 2nd and 4.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground.
And this is going to be a Raiders first down as he's able to get this up to the 37-yard line.
But, partner, if the defense isn't going to adjust and they keep giving them those 5, 6, 7-yard runs over and over, they're likely to run it the whole way to the end zone. They'll be more than happy to take the yardage available and save some of their other plays in the playbook for another time.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
They run a draw here on 2nd down. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Smith. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Brian Burns flying in there and dropping him for the sack.
The start of this game shaping up nicely on that visiting sideline.
Yeah, how about that? You get your points on the opening drive. Then you get a big sack there on 3rd down, and you make the home crowd go, shh.
There is a hush indeed.
On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt.
Fielded at the 33. It's a 45-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. Good starting field position for the New York Giants here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Play action. Now Wilson.
Throw right side, taken in by Bellinger.
That'll go for a gain of 7, and it's 2nd down.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Straight ahead, here's Tracy.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
3rd and 3.
Throwing is Wilson.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Giants first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Here's Wilson.
That's complete. It's Neighbors.
He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
I think that's how this defense is going to need to play these tight ends. Again, get right up on them and stay physical. And that paid off on that play, helping force that incompletion.
Now a 2nd and 10. Tracy trying the right side.
And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
7th play of the drive forthcoming on 3rd and 8. Now Wilson.
That is caught. And the Giants are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, a sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Giant football, and we're ready to begin the second quarter. As they come up now, 2nd and goal. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Russell Wilson taking it in from 4 yards out.
And the Giants are able to stretch out their lead.
He didn't originally want to run, but he didn't see anything in the passing game, so he scrambled, and wouldn't you know it, he scores a touchdown anyway. It's awfully nice to have a quarterback who can make things happen with his legs.
Graham Gano on for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it was Russell Wilson finishing things off with a touchdown run. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Second drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense. Nothing for him yet from an offensive standpoint, down 10-zip as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
That's a tremendous group effort there because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And the play goes nowhere, losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39.
Dexter Lawrence finding his way through defensively for the stop.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. That'll bring up 4th down. They wind up getting 8 yards, but they needed more than that.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. And now out come the Giants.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
2nd and 9 now from the 21.
They'll go again with Tracy.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped.
During that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson.
That's caught left side by Neighbors.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 12 more yards there and another 1st down.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
Here's Wilson. And the catch made by Johnson. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a 2nd and just a few inches left.
Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
22 yards there, a 1st down.
And as a quarterback, you always want to exploit gaps in the defense, and he finds one here. Crossing route, working from right to left across the field. And once you get defenders going in the wrong direction, it is awfully hard for them to pivot back, and you end up getting the 1st down.
To throw is Wilson. He finds Robinson. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Boy, everything clicking on this drive. He's 4 for 4 now, and that throw, maybe the best of the bunch. This offense is really humming, and they pick up another first down.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Throwing again here, Wilson. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown from 6 yards away.
And the Giants are able to extend their lead.
For good reason, quarterbacks want to get the ball to the perimeter to their wide receivers for big plays. But in this situation, it felt like, based on coverage, he knew that he wanted his tight end to have the football, and for good reason.
Gano for the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. So that a 7-play, 80-yard drive. And it was polished off by a Giants touchdown. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line.
And now here come the Raiders. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Smith now to throw.
Short throw caught by Bowers.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while, get at least 2 first downs, give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Now Geno. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
That could have been a huge play, but give the defender credit. Stayed calm, stayed collected, and kept himself in a position to make a play on the ball without a penalty.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3.
From the gun, they'll try to run it.
And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Here's Smith. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Smith.
Short throw caught by Bowers.
And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
And a nice job by the 2 of them to not only connect on the pitch and the catch, but to carry over their practice work to the game field. They saw the adjustment by the defense, made an adjustment themselves, and picked up the first down.
Now Smith.
That's to Bowers once again.
So the completion good for 6 yards, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential, but when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
2nd down and 4.
To throw is Smith. And he's got it. Touchdown. Jacoby Myers, an 18-yard touchdown grab.
And the Raiders are able to cut into that deficit. Well, on that connection, it looked like they maybe had some pre-play communication. Maybe one of them noticed an area that was open in the defense to get the pass to.
When you put the time in, sometimes you have that great silent communication that you just noticed right there, because the best quarterback-receiver combos in the NFL, they know how to make those adjustments at the line of scrimmage when they see something pre-play, and they got it done there.
Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. And it's 17-7. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays.
And it was all capped off by Jacoby Myers on the touchdown reception.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. 5 for 5 that last drive. Touchdown pass as well. He was clicking. Receivers, I don't want to be cliche, but running really solid routes too.
And what I love about it is when you look across any team, all right, those body types of the receivers are usually different. The way that they get open, different as well. Some of them use power to get open. Some of them use those head fakes and subtle moves. Some of them just use pure speed. And the really good ones, when they're established, they know how to push off at the end of a route too.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Wilson.
Again, it's Johnson.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Now it's Wilson. Complete. It's Johnson. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
Here's 2nd and 3.
Here's Wilson to throw.
Finding Johnson on the out route. That's complete.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor, and it's a first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Wilson. It's complete to Robinson. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the right hash, this from 33. Gano's kick is good, and that will open the lead up now to 20-7. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. and not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
This has certainly been a fun one to watch so far. We knew this was going to be a battle, and we have not been disappointed. This is the kind of game that could wind up hinging on which side could play mistake-free football the rest of the way.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Raiders are going to have it first, and they trail here as we get back to it in this third quarter of action. And able to get this out to the 25. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3.
And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
And that's the knowledge you gain from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25.
From the gun, he'll hand this off.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Smith.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That's good for 28 yards.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
So the drive takes him into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
And here's a handoff out of the gun. And they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37.
11 more on that one and another first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line.
That play was all Bobby Okereke as he got there and dragged him down for the loss.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
And they'll run on the inside handoff.
Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. So 3rd down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. Throwing now is Geno.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Now a quick throw out wide to Myers. And this will be a gain of 6 when it's all said and done. Down to the 15 from the 21.
Here is 3rd and 5.
Throwing is Smith.
To the right side and intercepted. Picked off by Paulson and Debo. And the Giants are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line.
They were well aware of the scoreboard as they went into halftime, and they know how tough it's been to put up any kind of points. But if there's a positive after that play, is that they were able to take a shot at the end zone on their opening drive of this half. The negative, though, that shot at 6 ended in an interception, and we know that's not going to jumpstart this struggling offense.
After the interception, here's Wilson.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. They go play action with Wilson. That ball caught by Slayton. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 27 yards there, a 1st down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And he's brought down.
Well, hang on now. We're going to pause here. We've got an injured player. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 41. Now it's Wilson. And that is caught at the 10-yard line. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
Another big play right there, and this is where, as an offense, you can really put the hammer down. You've got a double-digit lead, but those other guys, they've been hanging around. A touchdown here could put this game out of reach, and that's a strong step towards getting it done.
So now, following the big play, they've got a 1st and goal all the way down at the 10. To throw again is Wilson. And it's caught. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Second down and a yard.
Play action. It's Wilson. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. They bring the safety on the blitz, and he busts through to drop him for an 8-yard loss.
Well, we saw him score on the ground earlier in the ball game. This time, the defense says not so fast.
Yeah, that's good scouting and good awareness, isn't it? Because you always have to be wary of him keeping it himself, especially in this part of the field. Because if he doesn't like what he sees, you know he'll take off and try and go for it himself.
Now Wilson. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. A great effort there. A beast in the red zone with his second touchdown of the game, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead.
Partner, they had a good lead as they went in at the half, and they came out here in the second half and found a way to extend it. I love their consistency. Don't worry about what they said at halftime. This seemed like a team that was ready to play 60 minutes, and while this game is far from over, I love their approach.
Brian Dable dialing up a play call here as they will go for 2.
Wilson going to throw for it. And unable to connect. They don't get the 2-point conversion here. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And a nifty return there all the way across the 40. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
His carries tonight, they're getting up there, so maybe one of those every now and then is understandable.
I would agree with that. Understandable every now and then. Sometimes you come back and you fake it to him and go play action, but other times you say, okay, they got him on that one. We'll come back to him in another carry.
And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42.
Well, you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Steps away to his left. And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. They'll get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
No surprise to see his sideline fired up by that big play. Heck, we're fired up, and we're supposed to be neutral. That's a quarterback putting his body on the line to fight and just barely get the first down. When he does something like that, it gets everyone ready to lay it all out there and try and match his intensity.
Short throw, and that's home.
And oh, he coughed it up. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And they will finally stop him as he's down to the 40-yard line.
Well, if these guys wanted to get back in this game, they needed an almost perfect second half, and down 3 scores. A lost fumble here certainly doesn't fit into that plan.
That reminds me of my plan in college to get an A on the papers I turned in, but that didn't work out too well either. Too many mistakes by both of us. I mean, that's just pure and simple, and that's why that's exactly where they are in this ball game. They're going to need a huge turnaround if they want to try and win this one.
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. He wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Second down and 6 now.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Back-to-back 4-yard runs. Now, look, if they just do that all the way downfield, ball ends up in the end zone, but that's a little difficult to do.
Yeah, I think now 3rd and 2, that defense ready to stiffen up and stop that run. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now it's Smith off the bootleg.
The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Credit the Giants defense that time in pass coverage. 4th down.
This has kind of been the story all night long, hasn't it? An inability to really get much done on 3rd downs, and it's costing them.
I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this 3rd quarter as they'll go for it on 4th down. Here we go on 4th. Smith. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And that one knocked away and incomplete. Nice job defensively on what will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Back now in Las Vegas. Welcome back, everybody. It's the Giants with the football and also the lead as we get set to start quarter number 4. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Right back to Tracy.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
66 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw down that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice gain there. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now they'll throw it with Wilson.
He's got...
And the ball is knocked out, and the Raiders pick it up, and they will take over at the 29-yard line.
You and I have been around teams, and they all have goals for games, don't they? And every team we've ever talked to says what?
No turnovers.
Don't turn the ball over. 0. And they were that close to getting it done. Won't cost them today, but they'll hate that when they're watching the game tape.
The Raiders offense coming back out onto the field. And the fumble recovery was an important first step, but still a huge 4th quarter hole to dig out of. Down 3 scores.
Following the fumble recovery, Smith.
That's complete into the hands of Myers.
So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
From the gun, here's Smith.
They'll get the tight end Bowers involved there.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
This defense has certainly had an outstanding second half, haven't they? I know they just gave up a first down there, and for the offense, they're hoping that that's something that they can jumpstart with and maybe start to move the ball a little bit better. But it's been tough sledding for them here the entire second half.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss. I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly, and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Geno now to throw. He's going to air one out. It's caught inside the 25. And he's able to get this down deep on the Giants side of the field.
It's a big play there for Vegas.
54 yards.
To get back in this ball game, big plays are going to be necessary. And here's one right on cue. Coming up with 3 scores here in the fourth is not going to be an easy task, but that's good work there to bite off a chunk of yards.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10.
Now Geno.
Pass complete right side to Bowers.
And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex.
And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Punching it in from a yard away.
And the Raiders have got it back to a 2-score game here in the fourth. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Carlson now to add the extra point. And they're able to cut the deficit to 12. That time a 6-play drive. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Two scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And this is going to be covered up by the Giants. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that, just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie.
On to give, it's Tracy.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the fourth quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers, fourth quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it, and let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there.
That incompletion certainly makes this upcoming third down a little bit more crucial. They need to find the right play to convert here and maybe start to tamp down a little bit of the momentum the other side is starting to gain.
The Giants on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Here's Wilson. And that will be incomplete as well.
So many times we've seen him try to escape the pocket and do something with his legs, but in this case, the pressure was too intense and he made the wise choice to just get rid of the football and make sure no one was going to get it.
They'll try the field goal now with Graham Gano. On the left hash, officially it's called a 51-yard attempt. Gano's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to solve.
Would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Now the Vegas offense heading back out there.
And they'll be looking to build off of a nice drive last time, a drive that really relied on the quarterback.
Making good decisions, distributing the ball well, distributing it accurately, keeping it away from danger. A really nicely run drive.
But now the defense, what adjustments do they need to make in the passing game?
Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. Whether it's the guys up front or maybe you bring additional guys, but you've got to disrupt the timing of them throwing the football.
We'll see if they can disrupt it here. Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Here's Smith.
Short throw caught by Bowers.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. And right now, defensively, you love that, don't you? I mean, you'll give them that play.
And they'll take it every single time. This is almost like nickeling and diming it downfield, and too much time's going to run off the clock.
Will the defense pressure or sit back? Here's 4th and 5.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
Well, these defensive coaches, they sure like what they've got in this rookie corner. And with good reason, as you saw there.
It only cost him a day 2 pick, and a lot of people thought he had first-round ability. But when he was available on draft night, that was one where you didn't need the full time to make the selection. You call that pick in early, and he shows why he was so coveted with that interception there.
New York's offense back out there and set to go. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset. They'll hand it to Tracy.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that first down carry.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Throwing is Wilson.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal.
Going for the knockout punch. They'll try and run.
Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
On the ground, here comes Tracy.
And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
I have to laugh a little bit because he actually handed it off. I thought with the 2 touchdown passes he's thrown in this one already, he'd go ahead and fling and try and get a third one.
Yeah, now from this spot on 3rd down, I think he'd probably throw it here.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. They won't even send in a running play here, I don't believe. I think they go ahead and try and throw it for a touchdown.
3rd down, here's Tracy.
And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown run.
And the Giants have put this one to bed here in the 4th quarter. I suppose it wasn't out of the realm of possibility that we could have seen a comeback, but that touchdown should put any hopes of a comeback out of reach. It's been a really quality effort for him here in this one.
And no matter what else you think, you have to admire the initiative to finish things off their way. Don't leave anything to chance, no matter how small the odds of a comeback were. Send it home with a touchdown and get to celebrating.
Gano the extra point, and the lead opens up now to 22 points. A drive that time of 6 plays, and it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field.
They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a 1st down. From the 50, it's Smith. Trying to lay one up deep.
Oh, he had a man running free, but he overshot him, and it's incomplete.
Looked like they were set up defensively in a zone coverage, but somehow they found a seam because that receiver all alone. By rights, that should have been a touchdown, but somehow this ball's overthrown.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing is ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
Possession switching back to the New York Giants. CD, this is the ideal situation in the 4th quarter. You come out here late, not much time on the clock with a comfortable lead, and put the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, this offense, all game long, they've been powerful. They've been dangerous. You're exactly right. They can end this one on their own terms. Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. So a victory here for the men in blue, the New York Giants. And really, it looked at times like they just had this one in cruise control out there.
Yeah, they deserve a ton of credit because you and I both know, heck, they knew. This is a tough place to play. Overcame that with ease, romped home with an easy win. And here's the best part for them. It'll be easy to get to the airport because the crowd left pretty early in this one, didn't they?
Well, plus they have a police escort.
Okay, you had to spoil that part of it. Of course, they're going to get there. But think about how wide open things are now because this crowd didn't expect this.
No.
So they went back to the tailgate and said, let's go eat. This one isn't any fun for us.
Yeah, they took the drama out of this one pretty early on. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.